ranges that were to the east of Route 15 that goes right along Andy South over here. And so those lands are ancestral lands, or Chamorro lands, and they're privately owned lands. And so what we had to do, first off, we talked with the government of Guam, the various agencies, whether it's the Land Trust, the Land Commission, etc. Started talking with government of Guam and obtained written permission to go out and just survey those lands. When I say survey, that is kind of an all-encompassing title, because what we look at is not just looking at the land to see if it's flat, if it's got sinkholes, if it's got rock formations, etc., that may prevent us from putting a firing range in there. But we also look at such things as, are there any ancient Chamorro sites out there? Are there laddie-stones out there? Are there remains of villages? What's the land presently being used for? As you know, there's a racetrack right up here. So is there an impact on business community? Is there a noise impact? Is there an impact on recreation? So we look at a lot of different things when we say a survey. So we try to take into account any impact that anything that we might do would have on that area and the people around it. And as part of it, we also look at such things as titles, who owns the land, who doesn't own the land, who may have claims on it, status of claims, all those sort of things. So then we also looked at not only our firing ranges, but as you know, Marines have to go out and do non-firing training, such as they go out with the map and compass to try to figure out where they are. And if you're not a Chamorro and you're not maybe used to going out in the jungle out here, you go, a mile in there and you probably don't even know where you're at. Well, that's what that training is all about, with Marines using a map and a compass trying to figure out where they're at. So some of the areas, and it affects more down here, is in the Naval Magazine area. And so what we're looking at, we're not looking at trying to obtain any more land, and when I say obtain it, I'm talking about leasing. We're not looking at going in and taking property. We're not looking at condemning property. What we're doing is, if it's, say, ancestral lands, we're looking at if there's an agreement that we would lease that land, so the title remains with say the Ancestral Land Commission remains with the people of Guam, and that the U.S. government would just lease that property, so that in this case, if it's land that is not being used, but yet that property would start generating monies that goes into, say, the land bank, or if it was Chamorro land trust properties, different ways to reimburse the members of those trusts. So we look at those things, and when we look down at the Naval Magazine area, there are some very good areas. Just to orient you, and probably me, Mount Lamlam's about right here, and the ridge line right up here. On the other side of the ridge line is the magazine area, and on this side, obviously, is not the magazine area. But if you look through here, on this side of the magazine area, it's some pretty dense growth in there, and that's a perfect place for Marines to go out and just walk the ground, like I say, with a map and a compass, and get lost and try to find out where they're at.